Hi guys, it's Chris speaking. Welcome back. Today we're going to do another From Fear to Excitement segment and talk about social transition. So for me, I think for everyone who's going through a transition, once you start discovering that you don't identify with your gender assigned at birth, it can be very, very scary to go out and start talking to people about wanting to call you the right pronouns, or wanting to play around with pronouns if you haven't decided on a pronoun before, and wanting to call you by a different name, and wanting to help you do things that are specifically gendered, like go to a bathroom or go to a particular event. And it is something that I went through. It is something that everyone that goes through a transition is going to go through at some point during their journey. So what do you do? How do you stop being scared of it? And honestly, the answer to that is to just do it, to dive in. And I know that is easier said than done when you're, staring down the barrel of a loaded gun. Basically, you don't know how people are going to react to you. For me, it was only after I'd come out to specific people that I was comfortable, and not even comfortable, that's the wrong word. I wasn't comfortable for a long time, but that mentality of practice makes perfect really does help. So I came out to a few close friends. Even when I was talking to my parents, it wasn't particularly comfortable for me to, even though my parents knew, to go out to events with them, with other people who didn't know, and present as male. Or I never really changed my clothing aspect, but asked them to refer to me as male in that context. I would just grin and bear it while they call me my dead name, or while they call me the wrong pronouns. I didn't want to have that conversation 200 times with people that I barely knew. It was when I went out with my friends, or I stayed to a very small group of people, and they were consistently starting to call me by he, him pronouns, or consistently starting to call me by Chris, that fear turned to excitement, or turned to giddiness. I remember hearing he, him pronouns coming out of their mouths felt foreign to me, and it will. And if you haven't seen my video on language change and how that processes in our brains, and I recommend that you do so, I'll put something for it on the screen. But when I was hearing it, it felt uncomfortable. Hearing she, her felt uncomfortable. So naturally, I freaked out, and I was like, what if transition isn't for me? And then I had to continually come back and remind myself that she, her also felt uncomfortable, and that this was just a shift for my brain. And no matter what I was trying, sort of felt a little bit weird and a little bit foreign, which is completely normal. So when I started hearing he, him pronouns from other people, once I'd gotten used to it within my little friend group, or, my best friend and my partner, I started to get used to being referred to by he, him. When other people started to pick up on it and started to use it, I would get this wave of euphoria come through, and this childlike giddiness, when I was like, oh, they just used the right pronoun. Like, did you see that? Did you guys hear that person just called me he, and it was amazing? And you're going to annoy a lot of people, particularly those friends who are already used to calling you by the pronouns that you want to go by. I remember, and I still do to this day, if I am not expecting someone to clock me straight away as a male and they call me by a he, him pronoun, I'll basically call, run, or text my partner and be like, hey, guess what? This person that neither of us know just called me a male, and it was amazing. So there is going to be those times, and I pass most of the time now. It depends on if I've got this happening or not. I tend not to pass still 15 months on testosterone if I don't have my chin hair until I speak, and then they're like, oh, okay. But for the most part, I don't get rid of this to protect me from that. So I pass, I would say, 90% of the time at the moment. That was a roundabout way of talking about all of that. So there are going to be times, and there are going to be moments that sort of, I guess, flicker through in your transition, but it's not going to be overnight. That fear will likely remain with you. It's still there for me when I go out to a new place. If I don't know the bathroom situation, if I don't know what type of people are in that place, particularly if it's a bar or a pub. If it's a restaurant, normally they're okay, but yeah, sometimes it still gets me. And if I go into a male restroom and no one like bats an eyelid, because in a male restroom you just do not make eye contact. It's eyes down, do your business and get out. Then it's, I'm like, guess what? I just went to a male bathroom and I'm excited about that. And I still annoy my friends and my partner with going to a male bathroom if I ever succeed in doing so. So it will change for you. I understand that it is scary. It's even scary to start asking your friends to change the language that they've known for, however long. And it might feel weird, but eventually, for me at least, remember that all of these stories are my own experience. For me at least, that fear started to turn into excitement surrounding a social transition. It became easier to ask other people to refer to me as he, him, or people would pick up on it if I had someone with me who was referring to me as he, him. It was something that I guess naturally progressed, or they asked about it. Now, that's going to get uncomfortable. That's a story for another time. We have to come out 300 times in a week, but that's not for now. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of it, then click my face, which will be somewhere down below, and I will catch you next time. Okay, bye.